you go.
Okay, we are the 100% Hebrew Israelite. We give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Ha, Rakha, Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, spreading the good news of the gospel, teaching this truth throughout the world, and who rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing the word to the four corners of the earth in all sincerity and risking their life to do so.
Shalom. All right, so we're going to start with Baruch 4, verse 1.
Con. Baruch 4, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of power and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
Shall die. Why? Because these are a word of prophecy. Let me grab this real quick. Colossians chapter 2, verse 17. And I'll read it in the NLT so it's more easier to understand. For these rules are only shadows of the reality to come. And Hamashiach himself is that reality. So these words in the Holy Scriptures are prophecy. And the prophecy is Yahawashi's coming. All right, because when he comes, he's going to establish the commandment of Yahawah Ba'Shem, Yahawashi, Yahawah being the Father, in the name of the Son, Yahawashi. All right, go ahead.
Con. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
All right, so let's go ahead and get Romans 8. I got it. Romans 8 and 1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahawashi, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. It says in verse 4, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. All right? And then if you go to Romans 7, verse 14, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. Because we're in a mortal body that sins. All right? But the Lord promised us that he would give us new bodies. Let me get John. Let me see, I believe it's 14. Yep, verse 1. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in Yahawah. Believe also in me. Talking about Yahawashi. This is who is speaking. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you I go to prepare a place for you. Now, when you go into this word mansions, all right, the word is
Strong's G 3438, Mane,
which says a staying, abiding, dwelling, abode, to make one's abode, metaphor of the power, the Holy Spirit indwelling believers. So this is talking about your body, your physical body. We're going to receive new bodies. All right, we're in old bodies under the testament that the Lord gave to the Israelites. We're going to get a new covenant with a new body. You see? So then when you go into the root word of this,
Strong's G 3306, Meno.
All right, it says to remain, abide in reference to place, to sojourn. All right. And so what it is going to allow us to do is to go on into immortal life and allow us to travel into even space. It says to tarry, not to depart, so not to die, to continue to be present, to be held, kept continually in reference of time, to continue, be not to perish, to last, endure, of persons, to survive, live, because we'll be able to go into space, which these bodies can't do. We'll be able to go into the bottom of the sea. which these bodies cannot do. We'll be able to go into the earth, which these bodies cannot do. So with the changing of our bodies, we're going to receive a new glory. You see, with Yahawashi, it says, in reference to state or condition, to remain as one, which will be one with his commandments, not to become another or different, so we'll never sin. To wait for, await one. So we're waiting for this, and who's bringing it? Yahawashi. He is that one that Yahawah is going to send. All right? That's who the scriptures speak about. You got something?
Yeah, I got one. Ephesians, I'll start at chapter 5, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Let no man, KJV, let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of power upon the children of disobedience.
And the ones that disobey. All right? Which the Lord set up the apostleship for obedience amongst the nations. All right? If you have more of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, flows on. I gotta.
Let me see. Apostleship.
I wanted to go down to Ephesians 5:8.
Go ahead.
I'll go to another one.
All right.
Okay, here we go. This is Ephesians chapter 5. I'll go to verse. Let's go to verse 7. Says, be not ye therefore partakers with them. 8. For you were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord power. Walk children of light.
Mm-hmm.
9. For the fruit of the Spirit.
Read that one again so it's more clear. Read it again, the last one.
8. Okay. For you were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord power. Walk as children of light.
Right. Walk as children of light. Walk like you know who your father is. Walk in this faith, right? Which is light, which is supposed to allow you to see in a dark place. Go ahead.
For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth.
Truth, see? Righteousness and truth. All right? Our faith is in righteousness and in truth. Yahawashi is faithful and true. Go ahead.
And I'll go to 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them.
Which is sin. All right? And you reprove it through what? The word. All right? This is Romans 1, verse 4. It says, and declared to be, let me go open the whole chapter. It says, this is, I'll just start at 1. Romans chapter 1, verse 1. Paul, a servant of Yahawashi HaMashiach, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of power, which he had promised afore by his prophets in the holy scriptures. That's what we're reading. These things were promised as prophecies in the holy scriptures, even the apostles and the elect in this generation. It says, concerning his son, Yahawashi HaMashiach, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. All right. Why? Because he was born in the flesh of a Judite through the father Joseph that he had on earth. All right. It says, and declared to be the son of Yahawah with power, according to the spirit of holiness, by the resurrection from the dead, by whom we have received grace and apostleship for obedience. It says, for obedience to the faith among all nations for his name. See, for his name's sake. So that's what we are. We're raised up as prophets, and we're giving you a sure word of prophecy through the word of Yahawah, which speaks of his son Yahawashi. All right, which we are the Israelites. All right, and we're 100% sure of it through the Holy Spirit. Now go ahead and go back to that Baruch 4.
It was a Baruch 5, right?
Or 4.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know why I had it on that one. So that was at verse 8. We'll go to 9 now.
Yeah.
Okay, Con. For when she saw the wrath of power coming upon you, she said, Hearken, O ye that dwell about Sion. Power hath brought upon me great mourning. For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them.
For what? For our sin. Go to verse 19.
Verse 19.
Or verse 18. Go to 18.
Verse 18. For he that brought the plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies.
Right. So the same one that brought these plagues upon us shall deliver us from them. All right. So remember that.
Go your way, O my children, go your way, for I am left desolate.
Yep. Which that's in Isaiah 1 and verse, let me get 3. It says 1 and 3, Isaiah 1 and 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel does not know, my people does not consider. The so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian of North America, Central America, and the Caribbean, including South America, all right, they do not consider, all right, that they are the Israelites and they're the chosen people of Yahawah, which we have his word, which is the Holy Scriptures, which he gave us a Savior, Yahawashi. It says in Isaiah 1 and 7, your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire, your land strangers devour it in your presence. Because right now, them people over there with the small hat are counterfeits. And it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers. And the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Except Yahawah of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. You see? So the Lord is preserving Israel by preserving an elect group of men that preserve his word and faith of Yahweh by Shem Yahawashi. All right, go ahead. And that Baruch.
Oh, Baruch chapter 4, verse 20. I have put off the clothing of peace and put upon me the sackcloth of my prayer. I will cry unto the everlasting in my days.
And that's what we're doing right now. In Revelation 11, it says in verse 3, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. So as this beast, this new world order, the beast system comes alive, you're going to have prophets warning you of this beast system, the mark of the beast and the beast man. All right. It says in verse, same chapter, Revelation 11 and 11, and after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life, the Holy Spirit, from Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, entered into them, starting with Abba Bivens. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them, which is the heathen, which saw them. So they're afraid of seeing us waking up to knowing who we are, remembering ourselves, and calling upon Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. All right? That's why it says in Revelation 11, verse 14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right? We're in a time of war. All right? The Lord is bringing war. He's not bringing peace. He's bringing the sword. All right? So go ahead.
Be of good cheer, O my children. Cry unto the Lord power, and he will deliver you from the power and the hand of the enemies.
Right, because the enemies are going to come in like a flood, which this was prophesied since the beginning. Go to Daniel 7. All right. This was prophesied since the beginning that it would happen this way. All right.
Okay. Daniel 7?
Yep. And this is Daniel's vision in Babylon. Go ahead.
This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 1.
Yeah, it's only 28 verses.
Okay.
We'll see what we get through.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 1. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters.
Which that's what we have in the verses right now is his dream. What he wrote down we have today, a sure word of prophecy. Now it said in the time of Belshazzar and Baal protect the king. So this is the son of Nebuchadnezzar. All right, which you can read about his downfall in Daniel 5, when he drank and ate out of the golden vessels of the temple. And there was the writing on the wall when the hand appeared. All right. So going back to 7, go ahead.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 2, Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea.
Which is the Mediterranean Sea. All right, go ahead.
And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another.
Okay, go ahead.
The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
Right, so what it's talking about is the passing down of the kingdom to these other nations. All right, which the Assyrians, they had this image, an idol of a lion with wings. All right, the Babylonians, let me get it right there. There it is. And it had the head of a man. See it?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's the Assyrian. That's the beginning of the heathens' rule. All right, from Nebuchadnezzar to his son, and then it's going to be passed down to the Medes and then the Persians. All right, go ahead.
And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side.
Right, so the Medes and the Persians. All right, and it was raised up on one side. The Persians were stronger than the Medes. All right, go ahead.
And it had three ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of its four wings of a fowl.
Which that leopard represents Alexander the Greek. All right, and he was the one that conquered the Mede-Persian Empire. All right. And the reason why it's represented as a leopard, Alexander the Greek, was because he wore leopard skin when he went into battle on his horse and also on himself. All right, that's a historical fact. And that's when you got Greeks and Romans, which they are the Edomites. Go ahead.
The beast had also four heads, and dominion was given to it.
So those four heads and the four wings are the four generals, and then the four wings are the four kingdoms. All right, go ahead.
After this,
it was broken up after the death of Alexander the Greek. Go ahead.
After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong, exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured the break in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that where before it had 10 horns.
Which this is that Roman Empire. All right, which now we're in the reincarnation of that Roman Empire, and you have the 10 horns, which are the 10 toes of Nebuchadnezzar's dream. But now Daniel is having the same dream of these future kingdoms as beasts. All right, and the 10 horns, which you have the European Union today, which are the same allies of Rome in the past. All right, go ahead.
I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before
Which is America. Go ahead.
Before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
Which they are able to speak blasphemy. It says that in Revelation, let's see, 13. Revelation 13. Which it speaks about the same beast. I'm going to start at 1. It says in Revelation 13 and 1, and I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy, because all these heads are lies. They're all Edomites, but they call themselves different names, like when they call themselves Greek and Romans. See, that's a lie. You're not Greek, you're not Roman, you're not American. You're an Edomite, a so-called Caucasian, the red devil the Bible speaks of. It says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, the Greeks, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. So this is parabolic talk of the lifetime of this beast system, and the head of it is Greek. So the beginning of it is with Alexander the Greek, and the end of it is with the Medes, which is the Medes and the Persians, the Russians, which they have bricks, and those Persians, all right, which were Elam, all right, they're allies with those brick nations, and so they're going to be in that part taking those nuclear missiles and destroying America, which is the whore, all right, that rides that beast, the European Union, which they have NATO, all right, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, Great Britain, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. So they reincarnated the Roman Empire, and they made a beast system in modern time with the same allies, all right, from the past. And I saw one, it says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, the Rome head. This was the beginning of Dark Ages. And his deadly wound was healed, the end of the Dark Ages, the renaissance of the rebirth of the so-called white race. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, the so-called white race that is pushing this beast system. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto this beast? So who could make war with the European Union and America? Who could fight NATO? See, it says, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months, which is that New World Order. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, which is his men, and them that dwell in heaven. And that word dwelling, meaning you're meditating on the scriptures. So they're blaspheming Yahawah, Yahawashi, the angels, the elect, the Israelites, the kingdom of heaven, All right, so they got a judgment coming. All right, they got a great judgment coming. It says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And that's what you see today. The so-called white man having authority in this world over all these other nations. All right. So we have a sure word of prophecy. And you do well if you take heed. That's in, let me grab that. I got that on hold too. 2 Peter 1, verse 19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well, if you that ye take heed, that you pay attention and listen up with a sincere heart, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts, which is the enlightenment through the Holy Spirit, which comforts us until the return of Yahawashi, which he's going to deliver us. Go ahead, if you got something.
Oh, this phone thing, so I can't see it real quick. Right up.
All right.
Okay, you want me to start up on that?
Daniel 7, yep.
Okay, once they hang up here, because I don't know why it does that.
You can't reject it.
Well, it was Daniel 7. Oh, I could, yeah. Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
All right. So the chariot of the Father, the Ancient of Days, all right, is explained, and that he had hair that was white as snow, and his hair and his head and the hair of his head were like pure wool. So he looks like a so-called black man, and he's sitting on a chariot, which is a throne. All right, go ahead. And the reason why it says his wheels as burning fire, they give off light. All right, so much bright light that you can't even see the Father. You see, that's the power of the Father, the power of the Son. That's why when Yahawashi comes back in Malachi 4, it calls him the Son of Righteousness. S-U-N, a title. When you go into Acts, where Paul seen him on his way to Damascus, it said that he had such a glory, it was brighter than the light of the sun. You see, so he's explaining that through saying that their wills of fire, as burning with fire. Go ahead.
Back to Daniel chapter 7, verse 10. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Mm-hmm. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened.
Right, which we're in that time of the judgment being declared, which it's happening. We're in judgment time, and the books are being opened, where the seal is being broken, so you're able to understand this. Daniel's 12. Let me grab it. Daniel 12 and verse 9. And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Now let me go up to verse 2. It says, And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. The dust is the confusion. And me and this brother was watching these videos where you see, these different people saying, I can't believe this is happening. What is going on? They can't accept it because they were asleep in the confusion. And as they awake to it, they're awaking either to condemnation, the everlasting contempt, or everlasting life. It says, And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt, because everything they believed was a lie. And they're going to end up going down to Egypt for help, which they're going to make it mandatory that you have an implantable microchip, which will condemn you to the lake of fire. All right, the judgment of America, this whore. Go ahead.
Okay, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, starting at verse 11. I beheld them because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame.
Right. So what's going to happen? Nuclear destruction. All right. That's Revelation 17. It says in verse 1, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Those many waters are different nations. It says in verse Revelation 17, verse 15, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples, multitudes, and nations, and tongues, which the whore rides the beast, the European Union and NATO, and then under that banner they got United Nations, which they mingled their seed with men. All right? It says, verse 14, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are called, and they that are with him are called, chosen, and faithful. Talking about the elect. You see? So the Lord is going to destroy the enemies of his elect, and they're going to make war with his elect and find themselves fighting with Yahawashi, which Yahweh is going to send Yahawashi. It says in verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, which the whore is America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi shall be fulfilled. See? So it's going to play out according to prophecy. Once again, we have a sure word of prophecy. Go ahead. Go on.
This is Daniel 7, chapter 7, verse 12. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time.
Right.
I saw in the night visions.
Let me just get this real quick to explain that. In Revelation 21, the Edomites are going to be made extinct so that they do not rise and multiply, the wicked. But then the other nations, they're going to be made slaves and then eventually tributaries. It says in Revelation 21, verse 24, and the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, which they're going to walk in our laws. And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. So they're going to be tributaries. Just like we pay taxes on everything you buy, every move you make, you got to pay taxes, right? You got to buy gas, you got to, whatever you got to do, you got to pay taxes. All right? So they're going to be paying to us tributary forever. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there, because there'll be no wickedness going on. All right? There'll be peace on the earth. And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth it, neither whatsoever worketh abomination or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life, the Israelites. All right? Only the Israelites are going to be ruling in the kingdom to come. All right. No heathen will have authority. That's why it says their authority will be taken away. Their dominion will be taken away and given to the Israelites. By who? Yahawashi, in the authority that was given to him by his father Yahawah. Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him.
Right, so he's seeing the Father and the Son. All right, go ahead.
And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
Which we're a part of that kingdom, New Jerusalem. All right, we're in captivity as exiles from Israel, from our land. We're in captivity, but the Lord's going to come and deliver us and put us back in our land. All right, it says that in Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah 30, verse 11. For I am with thee, saith Yahawah, to save thee. Though I make a full end of all nations, he's going to take away their ability to rule, their authority, their dominion. Whether I have scattered thee. Yet will I not make a full end of thee, because he has a remnant he's going to save. But I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished, because the 2/3, they're going to be left here to perish. All right? But the elect, he's going to protect us and gather us from wherever he scattered us. Go ahead.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7. We'll start at verse 15. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me.
Because he didn't understand it.
I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So,
right? What does it mean?
So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
Right, which the Lord's going to give us this kingdom. All right, this word here, take the kingdom, when you understand what it means. All right, let me get the interlinear. Take qua ba'al, which is to receive, because it's going to be given to us. To acquire. That's why we have the Holy Spirit, all right, to inquire, all right, and that's going to lead to us acquiring. But who's going to give it to us? Yahawashi. It says in the root word, all right, it's the same root word, quabal, but it goes into to take, receive, be before, to take, choose, receive, to accept. To accept what? It's a gift. Let me get it. Father's pleasure. KJV. It says in Luke 12, verse 32, fear not, little flock, talking about the small numbers of Israelites that believe, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, which it's in the elect men, through Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahawashi. by the meditation of these scriptures, all right, it is joined with us as oil in our vessel. All right. Go ahead.
I got one here. Isaiah chapter 9, starting at verse 7. And this reads, of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord Yahawah of hosts will perform this.
Will perform it. It's a sure word, a prophecy. Because guess what? Did not the Medes come into power? Did not the Persians? They got the movies, the 300, because of that history.
Right.
It's past. That's a sure word of prophecy. When Daniel was writing this, they weren't in power, but they came into power exactly like it said, the Greeks and then the Romans.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly as it said. Exactly how they were going to fall. One head was wounded. The Roman head was wounded unto death, the Dark Ages, and then it would come back into a rebirth, a renaissance, for only a short period of time. See? But the Lord's kingdom, which is with his elect men, all right, is going to continue forever. Go ahead.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, beginning at verse 19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others.
And he's diverse. Why is he diverse? Because he's in a different format than the rest of the kingdoms before. It's in let me get it. First Maccabees 8. All right, which there was a treaty of Rome. When the Romans wrote a treaty with the Israelites, all right, this is verse 1. Now Judas, which he had heard of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them, and make a league of amity with all that came unto them. So they made a oath with them that they wouldn't war with each other, right? They wouldn't tax each other. They treat each other fairly and defend each other, which Elon Musk tried to say he made the Roman salute, right? This is the reincarnation of Rome, but you see that they break their word. Look what Trump's doing with his executive orders. He's breaking the treaties that he made with the Israelites.
Even the laws of America he's breaking.
Right, which were treaties with the Israelites that were here. That's why he's going after the Native American Indians on their reservations.
Yeah.
That's why he's going against the immigrants that had a treaty with him through their immigration status. See, and now he's even going against the American citizen.
Right.
See, which is a treaty between you and that government. So this man breaks these treaties.
So you're not even representing the American people no more.
Well, you know, in a way they are, because these people are deserving of it, but it's a melting pot. That's the thing. It's not just one group of people. You got all these different nations mingled together. That's why it says there will be no more sea. Because this kingdom was, what happened here was you had a president set up instead of a king.
Right.
Right? But now you have a king, which a president is really a king. But let me grab this here. It says, oh yeah, right here. It says in verse 14 of First Maccabees chapter 8, yet for all this, none of them were, let's go up a little more. It says, verse 13, also that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reign, and whom again they displace. Finally, that they were greatly exalted, yet for all this, none of them wore a crown, or was clothed in purple to be magnified thereby. So that's what you see today. They don't wear crowns, and they're all pretty much in suits. They're not wearing those fancy robes or rags that they used to wear. It says, moreover, how they had made, it says, how they had made for themselves a Senate house. What do you have today? a Senate House, which you didn't have a Senate House before. You had a family, a king, and then his son would be the next to rule.
Oh yeah.
And before him, it was his father, and then his father's father. But now you have a Senate. It says a Senate House wherein 320 men sat in council daily. And this nation is even weaker than the ancient Romans because now you have women in the Senate. You see? But back then they had men, showing you that this kingdom is weaker than the ancient Romans. Consulting always for the people, just like what you said. They're saying they consulting always for the people.
Mm-hmm.
See, but they're not doing it for the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same coin. They're acting like they're here for you. The two horns, the Republican and the Democrat.
Deception.
Yeah, but they're actually at war with you, even their own people. It says, to the end, they might be well ordered, and that they committed their government to one man every year, the president, who ruled over all their country, which at that time it was Caesar, but now you got the president. And they still keep that name Caesar because if you remember, they have the border Khazar.
Oh.
That word Khazar goes back to Caesar. All right?
Mm-hmm.
But Caesar today is you could have multiple Caesars, but Trump is a Caesar. Caesar.
Yep.
It says, let me see. It says, yeah, who ruled over all the government, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor humiliation among them. But now their house is divided, so it cannot stand. Their kingdom is divided, and it will fall.
Because you see some of these videos, just to mention a few words on it, is that you had this woman she looked to be as an Edomite, and she said, I didn't vote for Trump for what he's doing now,
Yeah.
So they voted for a different reason, but he switched it on them.
Yeah, well, because really he's not in power.
Mm-hmm.
That shows you, I was going to make a video on it, but this is a good time to mention it, is Trump is not in power. All right? You know that Yahawah, that there is one true God, all right? By the going of the sun and the moon, that it's the same every day. It might change, get earlier or later according to the season, but that is repeated throughout all the years of seasons because it's one making the decision. Then when you got confusion, you got differences in the house. See, just like I read, it's not that one man is ruling, but who's making the choices behind him? There's men pulling his string. That's why he'll say this today, but then tomorrow will be something different. We're going to tax Canada with tariffs, which really they're taxing the people of America. We're going to put tariffs on Mexico, and then the next day in an instant he changes it up. It's because someone else is pulling the strings behind the scene. The elite, which Trump is just the black sheep of the Edomite family. Right? And he's looking at it as a time to get rich because he pretty much gets a blank check as a president. But he's going to use this time to run this place into the ground. That's why his wife was dressed with that hat representing Saturn. If you look up Saturn satanic worship, it means that they come down with great violence. Centurion. It says, oh yeah, right here. Having or marked by a tendency to be bitter and this word saturninic. Let me pull it up. I can get the definition. Let me pull that up. No, that's not it. Let me get it in the meaning, because there's a meaning to these things. Saturn meaning. So Saturn and witchcraft and violence. Saturn is a powerhouse of deep spiritual lessons, rich symbolism, which is in their witchcraft. It says its symbol, a cross above a sickle, represents material reality and harvesting of spiritual wisdom. You get it. There's a part where it tells you that it's talking about the destruction, though, is what it symbolizes.
What about that emblem that you're talking about, where they had the eagle? He was in peacetime, was facing the palms, I guess.
Yeah, the Great Seal of America.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, where it was facing. They use these symbols to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
All right, in code.
And
that's why even Trump not having his hand on the Bible was a code to the elite that he was down with them. And that's why right when he hit he said it himself, day one, he was going to be a tyrant.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't failed to be.
Another one is Elon, being side with Trump. He all he does is he wasn't even confirmed by the Senate. You know how they confirm people? They just brought him in.
Which that one they said that in the thing that, hey, you wanted people to fix the problem. Well, Trump's here to fix the problem, so he's doing it for the people. Because Elon Musk is supposed to be like the smartest people, right?
Yeah.
So that's why they're saying that's why even the debt clock, when you look it up, it says to the debt of the people, to the citizens, not to the politicians.
Mm-hmm.
See, but the people don't care. They're ignorant, and even now that they do know, what you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Con. Daniel chapter 7, verse 19, part of it there. All that I read before that, I'm going right along with it. All the others exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devour, break in pieces, and stamp the residue with his feet.
Which he conquered the world. That's what the Romans did, and that's what these Americans done.
Mm-hmm.
They conquered the world. We were just watching a documentary about the dollar, of how it's so integrated in all these nations, because you got to use it for the petrol.
You're right.
No other dollar is like that. That's why the U.S. dollar has so much power. And why do they go to war? Because that stimulates that petrodollar. Whether you're on the side of the government of the United States or you're the enemy of the United States, you got to buy petrol in U.S. dollars. So that stimulates the dollar. Every time there's a war, every time they got to move all this equipment across the world, whether it's on the American government side as an ally or an enemy. You see? And that's why they were trying to say that they were making it hard on Russia, because Russia had to go to another country to buy petrol because they were sanctioned. But really, Russia got richer from those sanctions.
Mm-hmm.
You see? Go ahead.
Con. Daniel chapter 7, verse 20, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows.
Which is America. Which they're more prouder than all the others.
Mm-hmm. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them.
See? So they're going to come down with great wrath against the Israelites, which really it's already starting, but it's really going to be a great time of tribulation when they make that implantable microchip mandatory for buying and selling. All right? That's when they're going to be able to push you out the house because you ain't got a chip. You ain't going to be able to go to work. And really, it says the spirit of Egypt is going to fail. Why? Because you're going to have war in the streets of America. You're not going to go to work no more. See, so a lot of people are going to be either killed, murdered, right? Die of famine or the sword, or they're going to go into that implantable microchip. But the elect, we're going to be delivered through the power of Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi. The miracles are going to happen for our sake because we hold the name Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi. Go ahead.
Con. Until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possess the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces.
And break it in pieces. Break what? These nations.
Mm-hmm.
See, they're going to try to break us, but they're going to end up getting broken. See? Go ahead.
And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time.
But you could go into Maccabees and read about even Antiochus Epiphanes, how he was changing the times back then as the Greek. All right, when he went into the temple, started making the Israelites sacrifice pigs on the altar and shit like that. But you see what's happening now in that same spirit with Trump, right? What's he doing? He's changing the laws.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only going to be allowed to go on for a period of time. All right, which that time, which is said at the end, is 3.5 years, which we're allowed to prophesy in this time too. Well, we're getting to the end of this time, which is the end of the age of the so-called white man. All right, go ahead. Oh, let me get this real quick. I found it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from betterwordsonline.com, and the word is Saturnine.
Saturnine.
It says, when someone, this is detailed meaning of Saturnine. When someone or something is described as Saturnine, and this is reference to Trump's wife, I can't remember her name, but his wife, Trump's wife, at the inauguration wearing the hat representing Saturn, all right? Because these heathen, they worship the heavens and the earth. It says, it suggests a temperament or atmosphere that is heavy with a sense of introspection, seriousness, and even cynicism. Let's see what that is. Cynicism. It says, term in the Greek word meaning dog-like. We're called dogs. It says cynicism is an attitude of general distrust or disbelief in the sincerity or goodness of human intentions and actions. And that's what you see right now. Through their media, the word media meaning a medium, you got this so-called white race with its elite pushing a vibration of fear and not peace. All right? Why? Because they're not the Israelites. They're the Edomites that take peace from the earth. You see? And then let me go back. It says introspection, which when you look up that word introspection, it says introspection is a process that involves looking inward to examine one's own thoughts and emotion. Talking about the elect. See, there's always two sides to the coin. The Lord made two things. It says that in the scriptures. Let me grab that real quick. It says in Ecclesiasticus 42, verse 24, all things are double, one against another, and he had made nothing imperfect. See, so we're the children of light, and they're the children of darkness. See, they're fear mongers, and we're peacemakers. See, so Esau the wicked, he's gonna push a spirit of fear on the earth because he wants to deceive you into taking that implantable microchip. All right, we have the light of confidence. Go ahead.
I got one Philippines 4, chapter 4, verse 6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto power.
But it's you can grab that in the KJV.
KJV. That is the KJV.
Well, was it? Read it again.
Okay. Says, be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto power.
Right.
You want the NLT?
Which the supplication is the service. Mm-hmm. All right. Which there's another verse exactly like that, and it says supplication for all saints. All right. That's what we're doing with these videos. Because the unfaithful servant is the one that hid his talent in a napkin in the world. So while we pray, we're praying and we're putting up these videos in service to Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi, feeding the sheep, giving them warning. All right. Now you would do good if you take heed, knowing that we have a sure word of prophecy. All right. And we're telling you that these devils are coming down with great wrath, knowing that they have but a short time. You'd be wise to pay attention so you can learn how to get salvation as an Israelite believing in Yahawashi's return. You got more?
Yeah, just one more. And the peace of power which passeth all understanding shall keep your hearts and minds through Hamashiach Yahawashi.
See? So meditate on Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi, which is going to give you peace. Esau is trying to take peace from the earth where people are panicking, fearful, right? Have nothing to hope in but the dollar, and the dollar is failing. Woe unto you that go down to Egypt for help. Another thing on here, it says, this term can apply to various contexts, such as a person with a saturnine expression who appears distant and pensive, a room with a saturnine ambience that feels somber and austere, or a piece of literature with a saturnine tone that explores deep and often bordering themes which the Esau is the border of wickedness. All right. And I believe this word was brooding. It wasn't bordering, but
brooding.
Brooding, which it says appearing darkly menacing. See? So that's what they're coming down with. That's why one of the horsemen in Revelation 6. All right. You have the rider of the white horse, which is the Lord, Yahawashi. You have the rider of the red horse, which is Edom. And you have famine, which comes on the black horse. See? In Revelation 6, verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and three measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Let me grab that in the NLT. And I heard a voice from among the four living beings say, a loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay. And don't waste the oil and the wine. And that's the time we're in. Aren't they talking about China imports being shut down? You see? That's because there's going to come a day where your bread is going to cost a whole day's pay. See? And with these executive orders, Trump's doing these trade war moves under the elites' ordinances. We could see this happen very easily. All right? Very easily can you see bread being the cost of a whole day's pay, $100 a loaf of bread. Go ahead, Nicole. Got something or what?
Yeah, I was trying to see if it might be. This is Obadiah chapter 1 verse 6. But it talks about how Esau has been pillaged. His treasures been sought out, and that's coming. All you allies have driven you to your border. Because he's going against all these different countries, So those at peace with you have deceived you. They have prevailed against you. Those who eat your bread have set a trap beneath you. This is the ESV.
Of Obadiah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have no understanding. Will I not on that day declare the Lord power, destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of Mount Esau?
Mm-hmm.
And your mighty men shall be dismayed, O Teman, so that every man from Mount Esau will be cut off by slaughter. Because of the violence done to your brother Jacob, shame shall cover you, and you shall be cut off forever.
And that's why they're showing. I just read it in their Saturnine doctrine, that they're going to cause fear and violence, menacing. See? Through what? Through pushing fear and scarcity. See, and that's what those 3 horsemen, the red, the black, and the pale horse, come. You got Esau, the sword, plagues of the sword, death and destruction, famine, death, and destruction is what's following this so-called white man. That's what he brings. When he's in power, he causes famine, death, and destruction. And who sent him? The Lord. He's a sword in the Lord's hand. Mm-hmm. All right. And that's why you can't go to war with him. You can't go to war with him because he's literally on the authority of Yahawah, Yahawashi. All you could do is stay out of the way because the Lord told us what he would be doing so that you could stay out of the way. See, that's why it says, be still, mind your own business. All right. Trust in the Lord. Set your heart aright and trust on him, because really you can't go to war with this so-called white man. All we could do, we're in a spiritual war. See, and the word is a spiritual sword. And we have the shield of faith and the armor of Yahawashi, which is really this word. All right. So that's what we're meditating on day and night. is the promises that the Lord gave us in his word of the return of Yahawashi. He is our reality. Right now it's in the spirit through prophecy, but it's going to be a reality when Yahweh sends his son Yahawashi. Yahawashi returns and establishes it. See? So we're just in a game of patience right now, just waiting on it, on Yahweh to send Yahawashi. That's it. It's already done. It's already written. It's already in paper. But we're just waiting for it to be fulfilled physically. All right?
Daniel chapter 7, verse 26, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it under the end.
Unto the end.
Unto the end, I mean. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
See, it's a gift. The Lord is going to take it from these heathen and give it to us. Give us those heathen too. Go ahead.
Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Here, there too is the end of the matter.
So this is the end of these kingdoms. And that's what Daniel had a vision of. Go ahead.
As for me, Daniel, my cogitation much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart.
Right. Because he had a great vision. And that word cogitations, all right, let me pull that word up. Cogitations is thought, his mind. Right? The mental conceptation. Now go to Daniel 2 and verse 44. Because Nebuchadnezzar had the same dream. Go ahead and start at Daniel 2, verse 36.
36. Okay. The book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 36. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the power of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power and strength and glory.
So who gave Nebuchadnezzar the power to conquer the known world at that time, even Israel? Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi. Go ahead.
And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given into thy hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold.
So when you understand that, all these kingdoms that he names, they were pretty much the superpower of the world. They ruled the world. All right. We were already in Egypt, but Babylon, it started with the Hamites, with Nimrod. All right. But then it was taken over by the Assyrian Babylonians. And then you had the Medes, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans. Go ahead.
And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth.
Which is the Medo-Persian Empire, which eventually were going to fall to the Greeks. Go ahead.
And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Right, the Roman Empire, which they went through the world conquering. Go ahead.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron.
So this is those 10 horns spoken in 7, Daniel 7, the European Union. You have NATO. Those are the 10 toes and they've been mingled with miry clay. All right, and the clay being one, the debt and the seed of men, which now they've mingled themselves with the heathen nations. All right, go ahead.
For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with mire clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men.
Which you have the United Nations. See, so they mingle themselves, the so-called white race. All right, they're in great debt, and they're mingled in with these other nations. They've given authority to these other nations, and that's why China is pulling like, hey, we got power too now. You see, look at Russia. There you got the BRICS nation. Even though BRICS, Russia is a so-called white race nation, the other nations are heathen nations too, because the earth is divided into three kinds of men. You got the seed of the wicked, the so-called white race, the seed of the righteous, the Israelites, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And then you got the seed of men, which are the rest of the nations. All right, go ahead.
But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
So they're not going to be peaceful with each other. All right, they're always going to be fighting each other, divided. Go ahead.
Con. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed.
Which is talking about his elect men. We're standing up upon our feet, and great fear fell upon them that saw them. And even though they're going to try to come down on us with great wrath, they're going to fail. So this kingdom will never end, starting to already. See, there's men that are in this world today that will not die, but we will all be changed. Go ahead.
And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
See, we're going to take these other nations. See, now go to Psalms 1 and verse, we'll start at 1, and I'll let you just read through it, but it tells you that we're going to take these other nations in the first 2 chapters of Psalms. Go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord Yahawah, and in his law doth he meditate day and night.
Knowing that it's a sure word of prophecy. Go ahead.
And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
Which you'll grow wiser.
The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord power knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish.
Because the ungodly are following the way of the heathen. The unfaithful Israelite will die in his unfaithfulness. But the righteous Israelite, the way is the same way as Yahawashi. Yahawashi is the way. And Yahawashi, what did he do? Did he come and give you a new commandment? No, he gave you the same commandment Yahweh gave you. See, you're supposed to serve the Lord with your whole heart, mind, and soul, might and soul, and then love your neighbor as yourself, which fulfills all the law. But we're to keep these in remembrance because they are prophetic. All right? Go ahead. Go to the next chapter, Psalm 2.
Okay. So the book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 1. Why do the heathens rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
And what they're doing is they thinking that they're going to continue to rule and that they're going to take us into captivity again. Go ahead.
The king of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord power, Yahawah, and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord power shall have them in derision.
Which their shame is being exposed. Go ahead.
Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. The Lord power Yahawah hath said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee.
Speaking about Yahawashi, but at that time it was promised to King Solomon, which is Yahawashi. If you understand that, if you're able to receive that, the Bible tells you of reincarnation. The Christian church is a lie. The Roman Catholic Church is a lie. They tell you that there's a hell. There is no such thing as the Roman Catholic hell or the Christian church hell. All right? The lake of fire is the nuclear destruction of America. Go ahead.
Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathens for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
And that's what we're about to receive. Everything. The heathen, their elite, and everything, the possession that they own, their people, the land, everything. Everything is ours already through the writing. It's already written in the blood of Yahawashi. Everything is ours. All we got to do is wait for him to give it to us. That's all we're doing, waiting on the Lord. Go ahead.
Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Serve the Lord power Yahawah with fear, and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him.
Which it's talking about meditating on his word. That's how you kiss the Son. Lest he be angry with you. See, it's meditating on this word day and night in hope of them being true, which you have a sure word of prophecy. Going back into the history, you know the mystery. All right? But with that, you ain't got nothing else? No. All right? We are the biblical Hebrew Israelites, and we give all praise and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Ha-Quadash. Double honors unto our apostle elders that rule great millstone wall, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abal babal.
Shalom to the elect.
God, shalom to the elect.